Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukarastvandhakaro Vai Rukarastanivartakaha Andhakara Nirodhitvat Gururityabhidhiyate Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryamkaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Verse number 37 we saw. Yat na adau, yat cha na asti ante tanmadhye bhatamapi asat. Ataha mithya jagat sarvam iti Vedanta Dindimaha. We don't. This is all a kind, this is not just the truth. This is not just the teaching itself, but it is also a sadhana. And what is the sadhana that is indicated here? I mean, what is the meaning of the verse, first of all? The meaning of the verse, as we have seen, is that that which is not there in the beginning and which is not there at the end makes an appearance in the middle. We don't take that too seriously. It must be a dependent reality. Because, and what is being referred to here? The universe, Jagat. So the Jagat was not there from the beginning. And in fact, they say the Jagat is 14 billion years old. That is what the scientists say. They have made an age kind of for the Jagat based on the astronomical calculations and the stars and everything like that. Blue dwarf, yellow dwarf, this, all these things. And so the Jagat is, we can find out the age of the Jagat. And before that, what was there? Sat. That was all that was there. This Jagat was there, but it was in the form of Sat. And this is how the Chandogya Upanishad 6th chapter begins. Sadeva Somya idam agre asit. Idam agre, before this Jagat came into being, asit, it was. What was it? Sat. Let's call it Sat. We know what Sat is, we have been seeing that. And so, it was Sat. And now it is Jagat. In fact, the word Jagat itself has its derivation. Jayate is born, gacchati is gone. Iti Jagat. Jayate gacchati Jagat. That which is born and gone is called the universe. So the universe now has a new name. Born, gone. Yeah. That's the Jagat. Born, gone, gone, born. The is of the Jagat belongs to Sat. It's a borrowed is. The Jagat shines in borrowed is. Borrowed isness, it shines. Borrowed spurti, it shines. Borrowed ananta, anantyam, sukha, ananda, whatever you want to say, it shines. And so the Jagat was Sat. And then after the Jagat goes, what will it be? Abba, finally the answer came. Finally it came. What will the Jagat be when it leaves? its form, Sat. And then the doubt comes. Then how come it is now Jagat? It is not. This is what the sadhana is. To see it even now as what? Sat. There's a fantastic verse in the Kathopanishad. Ham sashuchi sat vasurantarikshas sat hota vedi sat atithir durona sat nrishat varasat ritasat abja gojaritam mahat. Beautiful mantra. Even if you don't understand, you saw the refrain. What was the refrain? Sat. That's all you need to know. Various objects are mentioned. Various objects are mentioned, and the truth of that is what? Sat. Nri means human being. Sat. And all the things used in the rituals. Sat. Everything that is, lives on water. Sat. Everything that lives off the land. Sat. And that which is the earth. Sat. Sky. Sat. And in between, antariksham. Sat. And so the Jagat is Sat. Sat is not Jagat. Jagat is Sat. And this Sat is, we can't even say with a straight face that this Sat is now Jagat. Because then we get into a problem. What happened to the Sat? Did it go away for the Jagat to come? Did it get modified in some way or the other for this universe to come? No. So therefore, what is the teaching here is very clear. There is no such thing. There is no such thing as Jagat that is separate from Sat. First teaching. Sat was, is, will be, because Sat is free of time. Sat plus Jagat, still Sat. Sat minus Jagat, still Sat. Because what is the nature of this Sat? Ananta, limitless. Free of time, free of space. And if we make a list, we draw a line in the middle of a piece of paper and make a list. This side, what do we have? All the things that we associate with Sat. This side, we have all the things that we associate with Jagat. We see that they have nothing in common. Sat, timeless. Jagat, quick, time-bound. Sat, free of attributes. Jagat, full of attributes. Sat is all-pervasive. Jagat is confined to a particular time and space. Like this, we can have so many things. Sat, not subject to modifications. Jagat, subject to modification. Sat is the cause of the Jagat. Jagat is not the cause of the Sat. Like this, we can keep on going, making a list. There is nothing in common at all. Sat, sentient. Jagat, insentient. Show a few signs of life, yeah. Just a few. It's not a lot to ask, okay? Yeah. Sat, sentient. Jagat, insentient. Very good, see? Yeah. Jagat, insentient. Sat, karana, cause. Jagat, effect, karya. Like this you can keep, there is nothing in common. Yet, we say that the Jagat has, again we have to keep the hands like this, as though come from Sat. Jagat has, as though come from Sat. Come from Sat, sustained by Sat, goes back to Sat. This we have to say because we happen to be living in a Jagat which we cannot negate. That is why we cannot negate it. Why? It is mithya. Mithya is not negatable, neither is it negatable, nor is it affirmable. Categorically, you cannot say it exists, because it does not exist by itself. The isness of the Jagat belongs to Sat. So it does not exist by itself. And then, what else? Then you cannot say it doesn't exist. Why? Because one just came back from a doctor's appointment. So one is well aware that the Jagat exists. The Jagat starts with this body, and the body had to go to the doctor and come back. Pain is palpable, pain is there. Difficulties are there, emotions are there. And if you just negate everything, one will be just floating in dissociation. And that is the problem to begin with, is that one is dissociated, alienated, everything. So therefore, this is not just a teaching, it is something to really internalize. Even as a sadhana, one can help oneself every day by seeing that the Sat Chit Ananda, which is the DNA of the Jagat. Why? Because it has come from Sat Chit Ananda. So the definition of the cause inheres in the effect. So that's why if you have a child, the child will share some similarities with you. The child will never agree, but similarities are nonetheless there. And so the Brahman, Satchidananda. Sat, when we say Sat, it brings in the other two, because they are not removable. Sat means Chit and Ananda are also there. Brahman, Satchidananda. Jagat, one sign of life. Yeah. I'm lowering the... yes. One sign of life, yeah. Brahman is Satchidananda, Jagat is Satchidananda. Because of its parentage, same thing. But in the case of the Jagat, the Satchidanandatvam is borrowed. Borrowed. Without paying any fee, okay? No rent, no fee. It's borrowed. Shines in borrowed light, like even our moon shines in borrowed light of the sun. The light borrowed from the sun appears in the form of the cool light of the moon. This is what it is. This is exactly what the teaching is. Like that crow. What crow? A crow that went into a peacock conference. There were some peacocks. They were having a nice conference. They were dancing in between whenever they had free time. The crow looked from outside and said, I just would love to go there. But then at a gate there was a mean-looking peacock security guard. And it said, I don't know if I can do this, but I really want to go dance with the peacocks. Crows are very intelligent. They can do amazing things, really. They recently found out that the crow can sit on top of the traffic light with some nuts, like hard to crack nuts, walnuts. And then it will time according to the light and then throw the walnut down and then let the car crack it. Why should my beautiful beak be in any way taxed? Then after the car goes away, then when the signal is red, then they go. And then they go and pick up the nuts. Quickly they go and pick up the nuts. So crows are very, very intelligent. There's a video like that. So just Google crow and walnut and traffic light and you will find it. Only request, don't do it now. Okay? So then the crow got an idea, because as the peacocks were dancing, what happened? Feathers were being shed. Then it said, "Yippee, fantastic." Took one, took the other, took the third, nicely put it in. And then it trotted into the peacock convention. And the security guard, if the security peacock thought that this peacock looks mighty strange, he didn't say anything, because he had just undergone a diversity training at work. Don't catch, or don't shame odd looking, whatever. Accept everybody. So he said, "Chup, okay, feathers are there, okay, please go." Crow started to dance. Did whatever the peacocks did. It got free dancing lessons. It turned around, it preened, it went from side to side. It jumped a little bit. Oh, alas, aho, what happened? Feathers fell one by one. And then it was pecked out of the convention. It was found out and pecked out of the convention. One feather, Sat, another feather, Chit, third feather, Ananda. That's how. That's all that is there. And so, if I say Jagat is a separate entity, why? Because I experience it. This is the Nayayika's reasoning. Nayayika means the person for whom logic is Bhagavan. Okay? That's the only pramana the person says. Jagat is real because I experience it. Like what? A thorn in the side. Like a headache. Headache experienced, therefore it is real. We can, direct that same logic, that cannonball of logic directed at Vedanta can be deflected here. Vedanta believes in Eastern martial arts. You use the same strength of the same person to bring them down. So you direct that against them, same logic. Jagat is not real. Why? Because it is experienced, and everything experienced is not real. Like what? Rope snake. The person experienced the rope snake and got bitten by it also. And came in the room. Sarpadashtoham. I've been bitten by a snake. Oh my God, I'm going to die. And everybody looked at the body, looked here, looked there. Where are the marks? No fang marks, nothing. And then they said, okay, we have to look for an antidote, take this fellow to the hospital, but first let us find out what was the snake that bit. Please take us outside, let's see if the snake is there. Oh, it is there. Okay, show the snake. And he points to a piece of rope there. So, just because it is experienced, it doesn't make it real. Sunset you experience. Sunrise example I have stopped giving, okay? Yeah. Because very few people experience sunrise being in Nirvikalpa Samadhi at that time. Sunset, yes, we are on safe ground. Sunset is experienced, but is the sun setting? No, sun is not setting. Neither is it rising nor is it setting, but it is experienced. So we can also give the same logic that everything that is experienced is not real. Sunset vat, like the sunset. That will be our hetu. That will be the reasoning. And so experience is, just because something is experienced doesn't mean it doesn't come and go. Experiences come and go. That's why I call it an experience. That which was not there before, that which is there now, and that which will not be there later, that is if that is not the very definition of experience, I don't know what it is. That is what experience is. I had an experience, means beginning time of the experience was there. 8:02 it began. And then ending time 8:22, it ended. Thankfully it ended before class. Good. Okay? There is a time of arising, there is a time of setting of the experience, there is a duration of experience that can be understood. So therefore what? Experience has a beginning, middle and end. Number one. Number two, experience is time bound. Sat is not time bound. Is Jagat time bound? Ayyo. Yeah. Yeah. Is Jagat time bound? Yes. Jagat is time bound, Sat is not time bound. So therefore, as a sadhana here, first we understand this as the teaching. What is the lakshana of the Jagat? That which comes and goes, all this we see. And then as a sadhana, sadhana means as a practice to assimilate this. As a practice to prepare the heart for knowledge, one starts to look at the Jagat differently. It is not. It is not. That's how one starts to look at the Jagat. So every day I can help myself by not taking everything that happens so seriously. OMG, this is happening. OMG, now I'm having this. Oh, terrible. And we get more to a level, a level response. Level means sama, equanimity. This is itself the first definition of karma yoga. Equanimity is yoga. Equanimity with regard to what? With regard to the results of action is yoga. Samatvam yogaha uchyate. This is what is karma yoga. This is a sadhana to see the Jagat as coming and going, and I don't waste my time. Every small thing, if I jump, no fun. I become some kind of a nervous wreck if every small thing I jump, every small thing I react to. All the energy goes in that. And then the person goes to sleep. Where? In Vedanta class, because it was life itself is exhausting. So, that which comes and goes in life, forget the Jagat, even any kind of things in life that come and go, I don't give it the time. I have, and along with samatvam, what helps is the cultivation of objectivity. Objectivity, vairagya. Not reacting to every small thing that comes, every tiny thing that happens. Not reacting to that. I just allow it to be. This one said this. And so we have to learn to put full stop after every thought, which we don't know how to do. That's why there are run-on thoughts, run-on sentences, run-on sorrow. Sorrow that keeps running on and on and on. Oh, this person said a mean thing to me first thing in the morning. Full stop. Therefore, they don't like me. There's no therefore, because the new sentence therefore cannot be a connection. Well, I think they don't like me. Okay, full stop. I wish to get back at them. Full stop. I wish to show them that I'm not a weakling. Full stop. This putting the full stop keeps the Jagat in place. Otherwise, the Jagat bleeds into the life. And since the I shares certain attributes of the Jagat, such as body, mind, sense, complex, all of this constitutes the I, but the I is not any one of them. The mix-up is already there, and the mix-up can, the mix-up is slowly, can go with Atma knowledge, but as long as the mix-up is there, slowly, cognitively, I can delineate the mix-up in the everyday life. In fact, this kind of exercise, sadhana, is the third definition of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. Tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samgitam. 23rd verse of the 6th chapter, this occurs. Know this to be yoga. What is yoga? Dukkha samyoga viyogaha yogaha. The conscious eschewing, the conscious dissociation from association with sorrow is yoga. What do you mean dissociation from association with sorrow? Association with sorrow happens. You pick it up. You bring it home. You keep the sorrow as a pet and then wonder why. You keep feeding it, taking it out for walks, and then you wonder why it is troubling you. Dissociation from association with sorrow. Anything can make one sad in half a minute. Any word. Give me any word, and I'll make you sad in half a minute. Promise. I'm waiting.
Smile.
Huh? Smile. Happiness. Who knows what it is? Smile. I have forgotten the definition of smile. You don't know what all happened to me. If I start telling you the story of my life, we will have to extend this by one more week. It's just so sad. And not just me. I don't see anybody happy. Everybody is long face. They say it takes only 18 muscles to smile and 43 muscles to frown. Still people frown. Hardly any. Nobody smiles. Look around you. Rush, 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 rush. If I go further, then I'll have to hand out tissues. Okay? This is what it is. Sorrow can happen like that. Any word, the mind can just take you there. Full stop is the way. Put a full stop. Go do something else when those thoughts come. Change the channel. Do seva. Consciously, mindfully engage in seva. That helps. Because one's own troubles don't have the time of day. They are not there. They are not all the time just sort of saying, oh, Don't bring sorrow home as a pet and keep feeding it and taking it for walks. It's like in a no-pet household. The dog, when we were growing up, dogs and all were fed, but they were outside. It would wag its tail, want to come inside. No. You stay there. This is my place. And that is how one becomes immune to the Jagat. First step, I become immune to the Jagat. Second step, I see the Jagat as iffy, coming and going. And third step, even though it is temporary, I can enjoy the Jagat without really expecting anything else out of it. I don't try to squeeze the Jagat to give me what I want, because I understand that the Jagat is incapable of giving me what I want. You can't squeeze a stone and expect olive oil to come. Extra pure olive oil, dark green in color. Come on, where is it? What happens? The hand starts to ache. So you can't expect the impossible out of that which is an abode of sorrow. What is an abode of sorrow? Jagat. Jagat is Bhagavan. But the way people see it, they convert it into an abode of sorrow. It quickly gets converted into an abode of sorrow because one looks to the Jagat as though it's a wish-fulfilling cow. It is not. The Jagat can never give me what I want. The Jagat can never make me satisfied. Because what I want, the Jagat does not have. I'm looking in the wrong place. Oh, what is the right place? The right place is Adhyatmam, centered on I. Not centered on not I, Jagat, Anatma. That's why we have to make that distinction, because the mix-up is fully there. I have an idea that I want something. I don't know what it is. And if somebody presses and asks, what is it that you want? Happiness. And then joy, permanence, nityatvam. Some answers like that will come. And those answers are what? At best amorphous. And it does not stop one from looking in the Jagat to find an object called happiness. That is why that is when the Jagat becomes, as spoken by Lord Krishna in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Impermanent, and because it is impermanent and everything in the Jagat is impermanent, it becomes an abode of sorrow for me or for the one who is looking for permanence. As long as I look for permanence centered on the Jagat, I will be a sad, like that emoji, sad emoji. And now they have new ones, one tear coming down, yeah, constantly. Where is the other tear? I just finished wiping that. Now, one tear coming. That's how one will be. You are asking the Jagat to do the impossible. That's why it is dukkhalaya, a refuge of sorrow, an abode of just dukkha. Ashashvatam. Why? That ashashvatam is the logic why it is the hetu for why it is dukkhalayam. Ashashvatatvat dukkhalayam. Because it is impermanent, it is an abode of sorrow for me, who is the seeker of permanence. It is good to be the seeker of permanence. Otherwise, if I focus on the Jagat, I become a permanent seeker, not finding anything that I seek, not being satisfied with anything that I find. Everything finite, stuck on the Nama Rupa all the time, falling in love with the Nama Rupa and not falling in love with the truth of what that is, myself. So the Jagat cannot give me what I want. Therefore it is known as samsara, an abode of sorrow, a sorrow-making factory. And Pujya Swamiji used to call it sorrow go round, not merry go round. Sorry go round, sorrow go round. Because that same thing comes back again and again and again. Why? Because my habit of milking the permanent out of impermanence doesn't go. There being no permanence other than me, milking nitya out of anitya causes a lot of ayasa. So, very sad. Very sad. And then what? And then you look around, everybody is equally sad. Then you say, let us have a sad sang, you know. Let's sit and sing some sad songs. Darshan kab doge? Where are you? Why are you so far away? When will you come and help me? Even that is good, Bhagavan says, gives some punya. But this is what is to be known. So when I come to the last step, look at the Jagat as non-separate from Sat. When I understand this, then it doesn't become Dukkhalayam. It was Dukkhalayam, now it is simply what? Kridalayam, we saw that earlier. It's a place for play. And you can be like Lord Krishna. Anything that you do, Leela. It's just fun because you know that you are playing with impermanence. Like when you go to the beach, you bring a little shovel, little tubs, buckets, take some sand, sit near the water, pack it and turn it around. Oh, a tower of a castle, fantastic. Then few more, then you make this wonderful castle. And you bring some toothpicks and make some flags and put it up. Maybe you make some stick figures out of the toothpicks. Raja, Rani, King and Queen are there in the castle. And then you make a few more stick figures, because what is Raja without Praja? Praja means subjects. All the subjects are there. And then you just marvel at your work. Whoosh, one big wave comes. And when the wave comes, happily you wave, hopefully, okay, yeah. Happily you wave the sand castle goodbye. You feel happy that it is being taken away, because you know it is impermanent. You don't try to make a little door and go in and say, I also want castle living experience. You don't try to make it your permanent residence. You know, this is fun, this is play. If you're making it with your child, the child may cry, oh no, my castle gone. And then the parents are what? Castle jnanis. Sand jnani. And the sand jnani says to the child, the sand ajnani, all this is sand. Castle came from sand, sustained by sand. Goes back to sand. This is the way of life. Don't worry. That's how the whole Jagat is, full of stick figures, full of sand castles, full of little things. Small things just for play, it's fun. But when you try to get some permanence out of it, then it becomes it doesn't become sand, it becomes just sad and silent. Next one. Yastyadau yadastyante, 38. Yastyadau yadastyante yanmadhye bhati tatsvayam yanmadhye bhati tatsvayam brahmaivaikam satyam. Little synchrony is off. Yeah. I hope to have better luck in the next chanting of it. This is the opposite of 37. The opposite of 37. 37 said, that which is not there in the beginning, whose appearance is not there in the beginning, whose appearance is not there at the end, suddenly in the middle it appears, do not give it the time of day. It cannot be as real as the one who is saying it is there just now, it wasn't there before. It is not, the Jagat is not as real as me. It has a certain transactional reality, but I am Paramarthika. I belongs to the Paramarthika reality. I am the absolute reality, the observer of the Jagat. The Jagat cannot observe me. I am there to watch the Jagat disintegrate right in front of my eyes. All the things come to an end. And so, that is not I, so that is not Sat. It is, Jagat is Sat, but Sat is not the Jagat. This is understood. The next verse reverses it. And since we have spent a lot of time on the previous one, this will go very quickly because it's very easy to see. Yad asti adau. Adau means in the beginning. In the beginning, yad asti, that which is there in the beginning, yad asti ante. And that which is there at the end, meaning that which doesn't have a beginning and doesn't have an end. Yat madhye bhati swayam. Swayam means that which is self-evidence, which obtains as the self-evident I right now, in the middle. What is there? What is that? Tat Brahma eva. That is Brahman alone. Why? It is Satchidananda. Brahma eva ekam Brahma. That is the only thing, the only Brahman that we know, the only non-dual Brahman. That is what it is. This self-effulgent I. A self-effulgent I, beginningless, endless. What is the proof it is beginningless? Were you there in the beginning? What is the proof it is beginningless? What is the proof it is endless? Proof is Shastra. Don't forget, Shastra is the proof. This is not something to logically think. What arguments can I give? What is the vantage point of seeing the Sat emerge or seeing that the Sat has no beginning? What is the proof? You are the proof. Right now, you are there. Little logic we can use to help ourselves. In this universe, the physicists tell us, you cannot add anything, you cannot take anything away. That is the nature of this universe according to science. You can't add anything. You can only transform one thing to another. You burn something, it turns into carbon or carbon dioxide. That's all. You can just transform something into something else. Nothing really comes to an end. If nothing in the Jagat really comes to an end, and if it just keeps transforming itself into this, that or the other, what to talk of the conscious being who is sitting here saying nothing ever comes to an end? Why should the conscious being come to an end? When the inert matter is endless, then how is the conscious being coming to an end? It's all a series of transformations. At the most, we can help ourselves with this logic. But the proof that you have no beginning and no end, Shastra is the Sharana. Shastra is the refuge for this. Shastra is the proof. That the Dindima is telling us this, that itself is the proof. You don't need to then corroborate with some other proof. Just like if I say, this is a flower, this is a red flower, I say. Then what is the proof for that? The eyes are the proof. You don't look for any other proof. Hello, does the ear also say the same thing? If I hold the flower to the ear, what will happen? Yeah, people will look at me oddly, that's all. That's all will happen. Nothing else will happen. And so therefore, the Shastraika Pramanam. Shastra is the only proof. This is what is called means of knowledge. Why should I accept it? If you say, why should I accept it? Then I will ask you, what choice do you have? No, I can say I don't accept it. Okay, no problem. Don't accept it. Yeah, but I don't want sorrow. Okay, you can't have everything. Yeah. You don't accept the Shastra as a means of knowledge. Don't accept that you are Ishvara. Don't accept that you are the cause of universe. That everything in the universe is an extension of you, Satchidanandam Brahma. That you populate the entire universe with Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam by your very presence. If you don't want to accept that, then what is the conclusion? I am a victim. Everything is different from me. Dvaitadhi bhayam bhavati. I am subject to sorrow. I am subject to sadness, fear, anxiety, pain. This is a knowledge that benefits you. It is not, the Shruti doesn't feel good, and it doesn't have a account on X, formerly known as Twitter. It doesn't have an account on Twitter. And it doesn't say, okay, a few more followers I have got. It doesn't care if you follow it or not. Shastra doesn't care. It is there, like 1,000 functional mothers. Sahasra matravat hitaishini shrutihi. She wants your welfare. And if you say, I don't want the mother, okay, no problem. And that is, so it is all incumbent upon one to get to the place of seeing that this is really going to benefit me. And that is what is talked about here, that this alone is Brahman. Therefore, this is what the Vedanta says. Then, we'll do this one. 40. घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तथा ब्रह्म जगत् सर्वं घटा. We know घटा, pot. Ghata, kudya. Kudya means wall. Made of clay, brick wall. That is the idea. Not a concrete wall. In the olden days it used to be made of bricks. Brick is also another iteration of what? Clay. That's why wall is given. Ghata kudyadikam. Adipadat, because there is the word etc. We can bring in other things. We can bring in lid. We can bring in sharava, water jug, also made of clay. We can bring in Krishna figurine, also made of clay. So, Ghatakudyadikam sarvam, the whole world of earthenware. The whole world of earthenware, what is that? Ghatakudyadikam sarvam mrittika matrameva. It is nothing but clay. Pot number 1, pot number 2, pot number 3. Lid number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Krishna figurine 10 to 20. And then what else? This brick number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them are nothing but clay. Mrittika iti eva satyam, Chandogya Upanishad says. Vacha rambhanam vikaro namadheyam mrittika iti evam satyam. All that is here is clay. And what is brick? A word which has a meaning. When I say brick, it forms in your head. Various kinds of Ishta bricks come to mind. American brick, Indian brick, gold brick. Oh, no, we are talking of clay. Like that, you correct it. So, all kinds of bricks, but still brick, clay. And so, anything that we see in the clay world is just a word with a meaning assigned to it. Therefore, the whole items in the world of earthenware are what? Words and meanings. Vak arambanam, vak alambanam. That is what it is. And what is the truth of all of them? Clay. Clay in different forms. And when I look to do a PhD on pot number 3, then there is misery. Why? Because I am just looking at this one particular pot. And then after that I feel I don't know pot number 1 and 2. And then I don't know pot number 4, 5, 6. Oh no. And therefore, to stand back and see that if I know clay, then what do I know? I know the whole world of earthenware. I know all the pots, no matter how numerous they are. I can know the pots. I don't have to do PhD on each and every pot, each and every thought. I don't have to do that. Everything is known. If clay is known, the whole world of earthenware is as good as understood, as good as known. In the same way, if Brahman is understood, then the whole Jagat is as well understood. Why? Because Jagat is non-separate from Brahman. In every Upanishad, the student goes to the teacher and says, tell me that one thing because of which all these things are there. Kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sati sarvamidam vijñātam syāt vijñātam bhavati. Mundakopanishad. Same thing. Same thing you find everywhere. Tell me that which, knowing which, everything is as good as known. Even in the Chandogya, the teacher, who is the father turned teacher, asks the son, now turned student. Ask the son, did you ask for that knowledge? Yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati, amatam matam, avijñātam vijñātam bhavati. Did you ask for your teachers for that knowledge, knowing which everything that is unheard of becomes heard, everything that is not thought of becomes an object of thought, everything that is not known becomes known. Shvetaketu is perplexed. He said, what? And then finally he says, I was the best student. If they didn't teach me, maybe they didn't know the knowledge. Father must have glared at him. Then he comes down a few pegs and says, okay, is there such a knowledge? Please teach me. And same thing in the Kathopanishad. Little Nachi goes to the Guru, Lord Yama, and says the same exact thing. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat kritat akritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, yat pashyasi tad vada. Tell me that which you see, that which you know, which is not in this conflictual dvandva, beyond the dyads of right, wrong, good, bad, past, present, karana, karya. Tell me that which transcends all of this and includes all of this. This is how every question in every Upanishad comes. One more, Keno Upanishad. Kene shitam preshitam patati manaha. How do the thoughts fall in the mind? Impelled by whom? No, no, no. What do you mean impelled by whom? I am the one. They are my thoughts. They are your thoughts? Yes, they are my thoughts. Tell me what is going to be your next thought? Huh? Don't know. That's why this question is asked. How do the thoughts, which thoughts, when they fall in the mind, who impels? Who is in charge of that? Who is in charge of the prana that keeps going in the form of respiration, that keeps going in and out, in and out, in and out? Who is in charge of the mind? Who is in charge of the senses? And who is in charge of the sense organs, uniting them with the sense objects? Meaning there must be one entity. That search for oneness is there in every being, especially a human being. The search for oneness is palpable, and for the sake of that oneness alone, this knowledge is given. For the sake of that oneness alone, all kinds of activities are taken up in ignorance. This will give me that, this will make me one with everything, this will give me that oneness. But it doesn't. Because that oneness is not something to attain as outside of yourself. It is already there. It has to be uncovered, it has to be discovered through, in and through all the raga, dvesha, everything that there is. So the example of pot and clay has become therefore a stock example to understand how, just as how clay is the one that is responsible for all the pots, Brahman is, the Jagat is nothing but Brahman. Tatha Brahma Jagat Sarvam Tatha Brahma Eva. Brahma Eva. The Jagat is nothing but Brahman. Because when you take away Satchidananda, there is what? No Jagat. Only empty shell, name and form. More we will see later. Savitri auntie is here. She has an announcement. Please come. You can take a mic from here. She wants to do, what is it she wants to do? She wants to do some kind of a cultural program tomorrow at satsang time. What time would that be? 7:30 onwards. And so I asked her, isn't that really short notice? And she said that she has prepared people in 1 hour. So 1 day is a lot of time for her. So she wants to do something. So we will let her explain what she wants to do. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.